loyalists here. Welcome to the club, bitch. Don't make my life miserable just because you are. Oh, it just makes me so mad. Like, I was in an Uber the other day. Like, this is all my stories. I was in an Uber the other day, and I was, like, we were just driving, and then Levi, like, made eye contact with this peace officer. Not even a police officer. Peace officer. And we both had our masks on. The driver had a mask on. And he pulled us over, and he was like, I'm just here to make sure that you're following protocol. And Levi was like, is it because I was staring you down in traffic? And he was like, oh, no, bud, it's because we gotta make... And I was like, are you serious?
Just a routine Uber stop?
Yeah, well...
That's not a thing.
That's not a thing. And then, because now they have, like, they have to make
yourself.
sure that you're, like, in the same... Like, from the same household, and, like,
That's bullshit.
It is such...
How do you prove that?
Well, you can't, but, like...
So if you can't prove it and you can't disprove it...
I mean, they took IDs, but then
that's
that
fine.
doesn't even matter.
You can just say, like, I just recently moved. I have to update.
There's so many ways around it that it's like... Well, in a way, they're kind of like... I guess it's...
I think they're just, like, trying to grab the stupid ones,
well,
though.
exactly.
There's people out there that they're like, do you have drugs on you? Then someone's like... You know, in hopes that they like let them go for being honest.
Well, no, they never do. Don't ever think that they're gonna let you go for being honest or being a good civilian. Never happens.
Yeah, they don't let you go if you admit to criminal activity.
Well, no.
Even in the slightest.
Even if there's a suspicion that you might be like implicated or like have seen something. It's just silly. Like. And, like, every time I've been in a cop car, I've been in a cop car more times than my boyfriend has, and he's more of a criminal than I am.
Wow, you're just gonna
out?
out him like that?
Well, no, he's not he's not a criminal, but he's
wow.
On the scale of...
Ride or die, Sasha.
Listen to me! On the scale of criminality and whatnot...
What scale is this? 1 to what?
1 being, like...
Like a jaywalker.
No,
a filthy jaywalker.
1 being Mother Teresa, 5 being a jaywalker, 10 being minor fraud. I'm just kidding. This is a
very small scale.
No. 1 to 100, okay?
1 to 100.
Well, because it's like there's lots of gray area, like laws, whatever.
Wait,
it's crazy.
There's so many laws.
Yeah, like and so listen.
How are we supposed to know them all?
Well, and that's the thing, is that, like, you don't, but just don't steal.
Don't steal? Is that
I think you only need to worry about the laws that, like, pertain to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, if you're not into...
But, like, how do you know which ones pertain to you?
Well, if you do something and you're like, is this bad? That pertains to you.
Like,
do you do it that way? Do you do the thing first and then think about how bad it is?
Before marijuana was legal.
I do the thing first, and then I'm like, is this wrong? Is this wrong of me to do? As I'm like in the cop car.
Maybe that was
I wrong?
Well, I mean, like that's what happened when I got arrested for breaking and entering, drug possession. Like I woke up.
Yeah, but you didn't actively think that you were breaking and entering. I've been had. The time you told me the story.
Oh my goodness.
No, I didn't know that was breaking and entering.
Yeah, you were high.
But I mean, like. But I mean, like, what I was gonna say was like I didn't know until like the next day. Like I thought I was in the right and whatnot, and I thought like.
Well, like the door was open.
Yeah, but you also had to wear off and like wait until the like drugs and whatnot wore off, didn't you? Like I feel like when you're under the influence, you're not going to necessarily be one to take accountability straight away.
Oh man, but you know what's crazy? So when I was arrested, they put me in the car, and then my friend came back and. My friend came and he's like, no, can we please take him like inside? And then they're like, yeah, but make sure that he gets his fingerprints done tomorrow. And then like, get his fingerprints done. Like he can come, because they wanted to put me in the drunk tank or the high tank. And I didn't go the next day because no one told me. Huh?
There's 2 different tanks?
No, just kidding. I was making a joke. Oh. And then my friend didn't tell me, and then like I was working in the rigs, and like I was just hanging out like a week later, and I was trying to like save money to come to Edmonton, and like. There was a call that I got from a police officer, and he's like, hey, there's a warrant for your arrest. You didn't come get your fingerprints. I was like, I didn't know that was blah, 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 blah. And then it was scary. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that is scary.
Because, like, I could have been on a list if I got charged. I could have been on the list of, what's that list? Predator list? What's that list?
Like the sexual predator list?
Yeah, I'd be a sex offender.
A sex offender. Because you were in a little girl's room?
Allegedly.
Well, you said the walls were pink.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
okay,
to assume. I'm sorry.
They would have to make a specific charge stick.
Yeah.
So it's possible that you could have gotten on a list.
I feel like
the list it's pretty general what I did. It's pretty general. I walked into a like I'll tell the whole story I think so that I can do something fun, but it's the charges were there, is what I'm saying. Because like when I think about it, people are like, "That's crazy." I'm like, "Was it?" Like that makes a lot of sense.
I had like 2 weeks. No, I had like a month to go to get my fingerprints done, but that was just I think probably because it was a mischief charge.
I would have thought that they would like try and do that.
No, you have to go
early.
I don't know if it's like the same for every
crime
or experience, but like I just like when it happened. Well, and I also didn't get arrested. I had to turn myself in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You told the story.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that's why. But that was so weird getting and then she got mad because my scar. But I told this already. So wow, we're already recycling stories.
Your
Good
scar?
grief! I have a scar on my thumb because when I was in grade 4, my teacher was collecting bottle tabs, can tabs.
Yeah.
And so I was making Chef Boyardee one evening, and it was like one of those pulley ones, and so I pulled it off, and I was like, oh, like my teacher needs these tabs, and so I like went to pull off the tab, and then not thinking, and I sliced my hand open because it was already open, like it was just a sharp piece of metal.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And it gave you like a permanent deep scar?
Well, yeah, it was really deep. I got stitches.
Why do we have so many guests?
This is insane.
This is insane.
Isn't this gonna make your editing like a little bit of a bitch?
No, I'm a professional now.
Okay, is that why? You need to up the challenge. Is that what you're getting?
I've gotten like quite good at this.
I would like
Have you?
it.
I haven't noticed.
I would like if we just started hiding cameras and then
that would be
and then just randomly send you footage to edit. You're like, what is this?
Oh
is this even for the show?
I know, I was thinking the same thing. I thought that'd be funny.
Extra content,
Can
baby.
you put this on that side? Thanks.
I fucking guess.
The cameras are wild, actually.
What the fuck?
Oh man, this is funny.
This is what happens when you have extra money to spend. Hey.
Actually, that camera's like really old, so I don't even know if you can count it. Like I've had that camera for probably a decade.
Oh my god, it's obsolete. It's obsolete.
It 100% is. It's like a GoPro 3.
What are they on now? Like 11?
I think like 8 or 9.
Pretty much 11. This is 4. Hi. I moved it. You can fix it. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. That's why there's so many
That's why
cameras.
there's so many.
Because
It doesn't
people keep moving, and so I'm like, okay.
You don't need to say people. You can say Sausha. I know it's me.
No, last time Kevin moved it too. And sometimes you get the funny thing is like
It's my camera.
sometimes it was no.
It's my camera.
Was it a different one
Yeah.
that I touched? Okay.
It's funny though because like
I
sometimes
apologize.
I'll see you guys move a camera and then you'll look at the camera and be like, shh. And I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm like, who are you shushing?
That's a joke, Arturo.
They're all pointing at Sausha.
So I know that's the point.
There's 4 hours of just Sasha's face. Someone's telling a really
My worst
crazy,
nightmare.
intimate story and just on Sasha, just like.
Oh my god, my phone. Wow, you died?
It's like picking your nails.
Yeah, well,
Just chilling. Just
Oh
chilling.
my god. It's amazing.
Okay. This one's actually pretty wide.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
set-
it's
we're
also
all
got
set.
like a pretty wicked like fish eye.
We're all set. We're all good to go. I don't know why I do that. I fucking know why. Anyways.
Jesus. We get it. You're a professional.
Gotta move this way. Can you move in?
Wow.
She's really.
That's how I talk to my
That's
boyfriend.
how it is today.
That's how I talk to my boyfriend every day.
She's really taking the role of my mother.
I'm not nice. I've been angry lately. And just like irritable. I think I'm just done with being
A human?
a human.
I was actually gonna check up on you the other day. was gonna call you. I wish I did.
No.
Because I was worried.
I'm happy you did. No, I'm just kidding.
It made it worse.
No, you're so sweet. Thank you.
But I didn't call you. I wish I did. But I was in a bad mood too. Do you want to talk about your bad mood? What was wrong with you?
There's nothing I can pinpoint. I think it's just like a general feeling of listlessness and anxiety that is just like, I don't know. I feel I might be going back to work soon, so that's nice. But then it's like, where do I go from there? I don't know. Like I feel like this COVID, like threw, in a way, like a cog in the machine, where it's like kind of trying to struggle to restart. But then I'm worried, like, when we get back to normal, if things ever do, then won't, like, it just be as miserable as it was before?
I don't think so.
Because it was pretty shit before.
What do you think will change?
I think that, because like this kind of shit happens like all the time, like yearly. Like,
what do you mean this kind of shit? Explain. Just
like this year's probably was the worst, but like there's always gonna be a disease. There's always gonna be a. Well, I'm not trying to diminish your feelings.
No, I
your
know.
feelings are valid, so calm down.
You didn't need that at the end. You didn't need that little comment.
No.
So tired of men telling me to calm down.
I'm not trying to diminish anything, but like, since the world, this happens all the time. I feel like the people that like it happens to all the time, like they'll bounce back. And I think like, since it happens so fast and like it is happening for a long time, that it's just gonna go back to normal. But hopefully, that there are things learned from this and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like this riot this year, it was one of the worst. Because like fire departments were being taken down. That didn't happen last year.
And police precincts and stuff.
Not fire departments. Sorry, yeah, I meant precincts are being like burned down.
Now we're talking about the riots in America.
Do you think that
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about like shit in general. Like last year there was a disease, but it wasn't that bad as this year. Last year there were riots. It's happening again this year.
So, you have very little hope that everything that's happening right now will actually impact change.
I think.
Question mark.
I think my feelings of change are invalid. Like how I feel about the world isn't valid.
It's always valid. It's how you feel.
No, I know, but so for example, yesterday I spent an hour arguing with both of you in my head for like.
Love that. Oh my god.
Because like I'll tell you why. So the riots were happening, and I was thinking about them like, oh, this is probably gonna get brought up in Loud Bitches in the Box, which is fine. And I was thinking, I'm like,
you brought it up.
Yeah.
On the record show.
And what we're talking about like with anyways. And my first, I was like, well, what am I gonna say? Like, how do I feel? And then like, I started getting like angry, and then like, of course, you guys are in my head, so then you guys got angry, and then we were fighting with each other, and then I was like, that will happen. And I spent like an hour, and then and this is why it's not valid, because after I was arguing with you guys in my head, I got to arguing with my family, and then I got to the idea of doing drugs. So then I went from like African American getting murdered to, oh, I want to do some coke, and I was like, wait. Am I really that angry, or do I just want to do cocaine? And then, like, I was like, okay, yeah, no, my shit's not valid.
Don't you think that those feelings that you were feeling of, like, anger and maybe, like, I don't know, like, anger and whatever else were, like, kind of the triggers that made you spiral into wanting to do drugs?
Yeah, but I think because I'm a drug addict first, that, like, any
You're a human also, though.
No, I know, but the thing is with me, it's like, if I'm ever feeling weak, my addiction now, like, I know this just from experience, like, it grabs onto something that's happening. Like, there would be, like, a subconscious thought in my head that'll go in, you know? Like the stress of Loud Bitches in the Box, or the stress of editing, and it'll go in my head, and then it'll grow, and then, like, my addiction grabs onto that.
Yeah.
Because before, when I was using... Normally, like when we all first met or whatever, it was easier for my addiction just to be like, oh, it's Friday today. Oh, we're at Boston Pizza. Oh, blah, blah. But now it's harder because I have so much support. Like you two, you know, like and everything. And so I have so much support. So now it has to like come up with my addiction has to come up with these like crazy elaborate ideas in my head, like an hour-long conversation that us all had that never happened. I won the conversation. So that's why I think my ideas aren't valid until like I calm myself down.
Yeah.
And then I can think clearly.
But then that's definitely, I think definitely, don't you feel like that's progress in your like healing?
Yeah, I feel progress. Yeah.
Now it's not so easy for you to get lost in your sauce. You think about it beforehand.
Yeah, you're doing like a psychoanalyze
Yeah,
thing.
you're very aware now.
But like for progression, like you asked, I do think that I do hope that like things will change. I want things to go back to normal where everyone's like comfortable and shit like that. I don't want us to go like, because there's good and bad things about having things like the police and government. We need them, but like obviously I want things to change.
You know,
Do we?
Like I don't need a police officer, but Kevin, you need a police officer.
you need your PO.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Really?
No one bothers me.
Here's the thing.
I am the bother.
surprising.
I'm the reason why they call it.
I don't talk about this a lot because I'm not like really a political person,
Yeah.
and I tend to try and identify as like apolitical.
Yeah, I was going by like that was just. Because you're white. I was just kidding. I was making a racial joke.
That's okay. You can do
Try
that.
harder.
But like as a kid, I got really, really interested in anarchy as like a legitimate political system.
Yeah, actually, no, I knew that. Yeah.
So like I had a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook, which I shouldn't say out loud. I no longer own it.
What is that?
So
It's
it's a banned document that's essentially a recipe book for like fire bombs and shit like that. Like really bad shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it teaches you how to make explosives out of like household ingredients.
Ew!
I got it as research.
You little psychopath!
I never built anything.
Do you know what's my favorite?
I just had it. It was research.
That's why you don't have any pets.
That has not got anything to do. I love animals.
Or are you saying because I feel
Are you
like
trying to say I'm a serial killer now
that's
too?
That's what she's trying to say.
Unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed kills.
But yeah, no. So I got really interested in like anarchy and stuff like that, and people would challenge me all the time on it because it is like ridiculous. Like anyone that thinks anarchy is sort of like a sustainable system for human beings is maybe a little bit unhinged. But like for me, people would always use the argument. Like Kevin, you would never survive in an anarchist system, and stuff like that. And like for me, I was like, I didn't plan on it. That wasn't a factor. Like whenever, it's like the same thing whenever people are like fantasizing about the zombie apocalypse, and they're like, you would die in a second.
Yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, sign me up. I don't want to live through a zombie apocalypse.
Ew! Do you know how much running and starving?
I think
exhausting?
I want to stay in my house for 2 weeks, eat all my food, and then just go out and get bit. I don't want to survive.
I would probably, like, honestly, do a lot of drugs and then go out for a walk and get bit.
Yeah.
You know, just go out like that.
Yeah.
Maybe try to connect with the zombies. Like, have you watched Midnight Gospel yet?
No, not all the way through.
You should.
I did like Warm Bodies. That was a fun movie where the zombies got to fall in love and they turned back. That I really liked.
The book was better.
Oh, there's a book?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's
now
like a Romeo and Juliet kind of shit storm, but
it turns into like a pretty cheesy movie. But like if you like camp, it's okay.
It's very camp. Yeah.
So if you can handle that, I enjoyed it.
I thought it was bombs. I saw it in theaters. Yeah. That was in my Twilight stage.
That, and I think I am a fan of the male actor. I think I've seen him
Nicholas
in a bunch
Hoult.
of roles. Yeah, I think I've seen him in a bunch of roles, and I really like him.
Yeah, he's in that show The Great about Catherine the Great.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he plays the king or the Tsar of Russia. He plays him.
So yeah, if you ever hear me advocating for anarchy or the apocalypse or anything like that, it's because like I want a way out. Like I don't think that we would thrive. In fact, like I think that kind of is the eventual end of the human race is we are eventually going to like choke ourselves out in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And then the Earth will survive,
As it
and
does.
then the simulation will start all over again.
Can't wait to be reborn.
Yeah,
Do
it was
this all over again.
just
The exact same thing.
reboot the system.
The same life.
The aliens come back and they go, oh, they made it to year 2050 this
Oh,
time.
good job!
Yeah.
That's the longest one so far.
Let's clean them up and put them back to biblical times. See if they.
Alright.
Yeah. See
Wind
if,
it back.
Back to the zombie thing. I don't think zombies would last long.
yeah.
Yeah, because, okay, so, especially in, like, colder countries, that's the thing I don't get. It's like in a zombie movie, at night, it's cold, there's zombies, like, running around, like, a human body won't last
You
that
should
long.
watch. What is it? Z Nation. It's about it's zombies apocalypse, and they go up. Like some people are trying to get up to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, because the zombies can't survive.
It's too cold.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, because
That's
the
hilarious.
bodies
Yeah.
wouldn't be able, like, it's a human body, it
We'd be-
won't last
We'd
that
be
long.
pretty safe in like the dead of winter, but like once springtime, like all that happens when a zombie freezes.
Is it? They just.
It just goes into like stasis. When it
Yeah.
thaws out, it's still another like it's
It's
still
gotta
a
be more
threat
smell.
zombie.
Yeah, but then the if, like, let's say a zombie body or a human body, like, it gets like frozen or whatnot. After it thaws out, it's not gonna like, it's that's dead meat. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
Yeah,
the
but
zombie's
so zombies-
already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it can't move the body because the body's damaged.
No,
You know
but
what I mean?
no-
How would it move?
But
Its
zombies
body
are
is
already.
damaged.
But the whole like thing of a zombie is that like you can like shoot off its arm or its leg and it's still gonna come at you, right? Like it's not gonna matter.
I
It's
just
just gonna
don't
smell.
see the human body lasting that long.
Well, the human body isn't gonna last that long. It's not a human body anymore. It's a zombie. Bitch.
I just can't see it. I just can't see it.
Because they're not real.
If you're into like a realistic zombie scenario, there's a book called World War
Yeah.
Z.
Oh, and then there's also a Brad Pitt movie of the same name, probably
I
based
just-
off this book.
No, it's not. Like
It is.
it's got a completely different storyline. No, so the book, what it is, it's a sort of like a alternate reality, alternate universe where there is like a crazy strain of rabies that crosses over
Yeah.
into
Mhm.
humans. So it's not like it's a disease that infects human beings as opposed to like people dying and then waking up again. So it's not like a traditional zombie
Right.
supernatural thing going on.
Yeah.
Isn't that also like 28 Days Later?
28 Days Later was like they were making something in a lab
Oh, right.
And then-
Monkeys.
and with monkeys, and then a monkey bit a scientist,
Monkeys.
and then a scientist ran out of the lab, and then
Fucking, why would you just?
That's,
It's a movie.
That's what
It's a
science
movie.
is.
But, like,
Science is selfish.
but 28 Days Later was great.
I didn't mind it.
There are times science has always like been like, well, maybe we can.
But World War Z, what it is, so it's a book written like that, but it's like a collection of essays from
Yeah.
places around the world,
Oh.
like different
cool.
aspects or different perspectives about the zombie apocalypse. So there's like
I didn't know. Is that neat?
yeah, there's a story written by like a National Guard guy. I don't know what they're called. Some National Army dude in like New York.
Yeah.
And then there's stories from people that were on a submarine when the zombie apocalypse hit. There's stories from people in Africa. It goes like all over the world, and it's all like hypothetical, and it's done like anthology wise, and it's like a collection of essays.
That's neat.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like if you really geek out on zombies, that's the one book that I really recommend to someone that's like tired of the whole zombie trope, because it takes a more, I don't know, scientific, realistic, analytical approach to it, but it's still pure fantasy.
I think that's my biggest problem is like I'm seeing the zombies as like a regular human body, but obviously they won't have a human body because like the regular person is not in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Like your average person is not
I
running there.
guess with all those zombie runnings, like they'll get into shape.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, your typical person is not running marathons, isn't bench pressing like 225 every day, shit like that, right?
No.
They're not.
I just started working out.
Are you bench pressing 225?
348.
348
Yeah.
grams?
jacked.
I think this is 348 grams.
Yeah.
This might be 348 grams.
I'm jacked again.
We get it.
Are you getting big? What are you doing? How many push-up challenges are you doing a day?
I don't know what that is.
Are you filming them? Are you?
No. Should I?
No. Just do the push-ups.
But
Or make your
Put it
Instagram
on
a thirst
your
trap.
Instagram story.
Just do push-ups with like
I can't use my my appearance to trap anything.
You probably could, just don't
know
include your
There's
face.
a niche
I
for
can't.
everything.
Yeah.
That's what the internet is for.
I guess, but I'm actually really self-conscious about like the way I look.
Aw,
think-
you shouldn't be.
I get that, yeah.
You both shouldn't be.
Thirsty. Just I'm just kidding. Don't hit me.
Don't hit him normally.
What? And we have videos of you specifically hitting people.
It's always been your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always scripted.
True. Usually we have a video and then I'm like, it'd be funny if you guys hit me.
It wouldn't be so funny if you hit me right
Exactly.
here.
You try and write it into like every sketch.
Yeah.
Like, what if the outtakes you guys just like beat me up?
It's gonna be I just think a slap is funny. I like slaps. But it's just
There's nothing like a good old.
But yeah, I'm really self-conscious of the way I look. I know that I'm good looking. Not anymore, but I know that I'm good looking, but I've always had a problem with the way I look. I've always hated it. Even before I broke my teeth, I always thought I had a shitty smile. And like I hate the way I look and I feel ugly all the time. But I know I'm not ugly. But
Because people tell you all the time, right?
yeah, they say that I'm good looking, but I feel really bad about myself. Like really bad about my appearance.
It's extremely difficult to hear someone tell you that and they're like, oh yeah, no, you're really attractive when like your entire life you've hated your appearance.
Yeah.
And like, or like growing up, you got that's all the feedback you got. Like I got called like ugly and like so many things. Like when right.
I was the ugly sister growing up.
But like you
Now she's
you
a
hear
mom.
that constantly. You hear that constantly, and then when you're an adult and someone is like, I don't know, telling you otherwise, you're like, are you playing a prank? Like what's wrong with you?
Okay,
It's not.
listen.
It's not about. Well, I agree with your like, feelings, but
You don't have
I do. But
I
like,
fucking don't.
You don't. I get that. You've always.
I
You've always
believe them.
hated
I
my
believe
opinion.
like when people say like you're attractive, blah blah blah, like you're really good looking, like and
Yeah, people say that.
yeah, and I
So
believe
other
them.
people-
I'm not thinking like it's a prank, but like I just generally
I think
feel that it's like they're just being nice. Yeah,
they're just being courteous. or
yeah,
something?
because like I generally feel like that person that people tell me I'm doing good
Can I
because
just
like
tell you something?
because the bar's so low. Like that's what I feel. Like the bar for me is so low that they have to be nice. Yeah, go.
Literally nobody cares enough to be nice to you in that way.
What?
Nobody cares enough
Yeah.
to be nice to you in that way.
What do you mean? Though?
Like, if somebody is, and I'm assuming that you're talking about somebody random.
no.
Okay, like, I'm just saying, like, nobody is gonna go out of their way to, like, throw that kind of compliment, I don't think, at you just because they feel bad. Does that make sense?
No.
Like, there's
I
so
think
many
you're-
other things you can say
You're
to
thinking
somebody.
about it in a different
Oh, I see what you mean. Like they could say like something else that's easier than like, hey, you're good looking.
Yeah. Like,
Okay,
and also,
I get what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just...
You sound mean.
I don't want to... That's the point. It gets the point across easier.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't want to devalidate that feeling
Yeah.
of, like, not feeling like you like yourself and what you look like. But, like, I understand that, but I also, like, I honestly don't think that anybody cares enough to be malicious in that way.
I don't think so either. I don't think I have anyone in my
Oh.
life that's like that, like Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those things
Oh,
don't
I
okay.
exist
don't
in my
think
life.
they're real.
Okay, see, here,
Or if they are, they're very damaged people.
in what you're saying now, I get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when someone tells me or gives me a compliment, I don't think that they're giving me a compliment like a malicious compliment. Like,
Well,
they're
no,
like they're playing a
backhanded
game.
compliment. Like, I
Like,
don't...
backhanded compliments I get, those are obvious. Like, you hear them.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's a really, like, or something like, that's a good look for you.
But no one
or
is
something
gonna...
like that.
Yeah, I see what you
Nobody
mean.
is gonna Nobody is gonna.
Right? Like, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to orchestrate.
Oh, you're good
that,
looking, even though you're not.
Yeah, no one's gonna orchestrate that type of espionage.
Unless they feel bad, I guess. I can see that. But then also, like.
But then it doesn't. It comes from a different place, right?
Yeah.
It comes out of like.
I
sympathy.
think where I feel is enhanced after I overdose.
But like, yeah, extra sensitive.
Well, because like before I felt it, right?
When someone gives you a compliment, you should just call them a simp.
Thanks, you fucking simp.
It takes one to know one.
$50, you fucking simp.
Fucking perfect.
I spent $300.
Just give me your OnlyFans.
$300, Sasha.
That's
I mean,
great.
That's
For...
that's the economy now.
It was
I
worth
deleted
every
my
penny.
OnlyFans, so.
Hey, if it was worth it, if you are happy with your investment,
Fucking.
and it's not like
I'm happy I'm a simp, okay? I'm happy I'm a simp, okay? Because guess what? I am a
Simp
feminist.
Nation.
I think it got enhanced after I overdosed because like I saw like people knew and they'd be like, you look better, and then that got in my head. I'm like, they're just saying that. Like I don't look better at all. Even now I think I'm like hideous.
You do
There's
look
this
better.
thing.
You're back to.
Yeah, because but that's the thing. I feel it's like the bar is so low of how I looked before that if you're like, oh, you look better, it's like, well, yeah, no shit, I don't have the clay on.
No, you've definitely gotten progressive.
No, you look like you got fucked up.
Yeah, right. Like my eyes are all blurred.
But like you look better.
But you're healing.
You look.
Your face
Healthier.
is healing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely like from the time that I've
You
known
look
you in
fucking disgusting.
in 5 years, you've gone downhill for sure.
Disgusting.
Like I see old pictures and like old video and like you look so young. And,
Get a
like,
fucking haircut.
You
fucking
smile
simp.
more.
I like.
How about instead of paying some random chick on the internet $300, you go to a salon
She wasn't
and pay
random.
her.
I
You
knew
pay her
her.
to cut your hair.
I knew her,
In
but
real
she
life.
doesn't know that I'm part of her fan base, which makes it even sexier.
For you.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I'm
probably for the performer.
I'm actually.
Actually, she'd probably prefer not to know that it was you.
I'm actually.
The anonymous aspect is probably a huge plus
I
on
get
both
turned.
sides.
I get turned on by that word he said.
The
Anonymous?
Anom-
Anonymity.
Anonymity?
Anonymity.
Anonymous.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Like Finding Nemo.
Anonymity.
Finding
It's one of the most difficult words to pronounce.
Anonymity.
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 Anonymous.
Anonymous. But
I
the
do-
other word, the other tense. Anonymity?
Anonymous?
Shut the fuck up.
Why is it my day? Why is it my day? What did I do? Is it the simp thing?
It's always the same thing.
I'm a proud simp. I'll simp older.
I want to talk about something that I said on a previous podcast that when I heard it again, I really, really hated.
Love that.
I get that.
Me every day.
Yeah. No, I said something like
Relatable.
a lot of stuff on here is said in jest. So I was talking about like men in relationships and like them getting treated poorly, and I'm all for it and shit like that. I'm like actually.
Yeah, you are.
What do you mean?
No, I'm not.
Just kidding.
I'm really not.
What do
Like
you mean?
I was talking
I don't remember
about.
that
Yeah,
conversation.
me too.
Yeah,
I think this was a conversation with someone else. That'd be so funny.
No, it's definitely on camera.
Oh.
It's definitely an episode that came out recently because I had to watch it and
Oh,
I
I
was like,
haven't watched.
"That's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to watch. You are the episodes. Like you don't have to watch them."
I know. I'm not in them. Why would I watch them?
But anyway, I was talking about how like if you're in a relationship, like don't feel bad if you treat your guy poorly. Like I actually don't. Like if you were lucky enough to be in a relationship,
Yeah.
please treat your significant other with kindness. And like you're so goddamn lucky. I've been so lonely lately. But yeah, like if you're
Cuddle.
no.
He's not on OnlyFans. I can't. I'm not interested. Do you understand?
I should get an OnlyFans and it should just be pictures of my mustache.
You like this on your bed, like cuddling.
Just
I
sexy
put my-
pictures of my
I
mustache.
put my knee fat in
I guess-
between my toes and I wiggle it. Do you think that is sellable?
Your knee fat in between your toes?
Yeah, so
I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of this.
So
Don't show us.
So this part.
That's not a knee, that's a calf.
Oh, calf fat. Okay, so
Your legs are pale.
so this.
His legs are pale. Have you seen my legs?
Let's do this!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that vein.
Look at that. That's wild. Can I punch it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
It's probably the best part of my body right here.
It
My
is.
calf.
No, it is. But anyways,
$20 each. Wait.
anyways.
Yeah, let's start.
So
I'm
I
gonna
put,
start.
I put
Benny,
my
start
I
with
just
the
quit
money.
my job.
I put my toes, this
Okay.
piece fat between my toe, and I wiggled it. Do you think that's sellable?
Link
Yeah,
to his
that's a
OnlyFans
fetish.
in the bio.
That's a fetish.
Okay.
Anything's a fetish.
Honestly,
I sent that to my sister, and she's like, "That's weird." I'm like, okay.
I'm eating ice and it makes me loud for some reason.
Hello. We're not in the box right now. That's right. We're outside the box because Kevin's kitchen lit on fire during the recording, and then it fucked up everything. I don't blame him, but I blame his fucking coffee. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? It's on. Yeah, it's on. During the podcast, I wanted to tell a story, but I never got to it because, everything lit on fire. So I'm going to tell the story just outside the box because I thought it'd be fun, and I wanted to finish the story. And in the beginning of the podcast, it sounds like I'm a monster. I am, but in a fun way. Cool. So I'm going to tell the story. So if you don't know me, I'm Arturo. I'm one of the bitches. And I used to get high on cocaine all the fucking time. I used to consume $1,500 worth of cocaine every weekend. And I've been dealing with drug addiction for like 5 years now. And since I was 16 technically, because that's when I first started doing cocaine. But I've been trying to get out of it for 5 years now, and yada yada, blah blah blah. And this one night, I consumed 7 grams of cocaine and then 6 grams of MDMA by myself. Usually I don't do MDMA because, I'm not a hippie. But for some reason I did it. And I think I thought it was cocaine, and then I just was like, yeah, sure, let's fucking do this. But I thought it was dumb too. I was like, I remember wanting to do MDMA because it was because my tolerance of cocaine was so high that I wasn't getting high enough. So I was like, well, I want to still be high, so maybe I'll do MDMA, and then it'll lower my thing. And I know you're thinking oh, why did you just drink? Blah, blah, blah. Because I like drugs. Anyways, so this is what happened. The night was over. This is what happened. The night was over, it was pretty good. It was pretty good for what it was. Usually it's really bad night. Usually there's blood on my face and I'm getting fucked up and I'm starting fights and I'm falling down the stairs and shit like that. It was pretty good. It was pretty fucking good, okay? It's a pretty good night. I got home. I wanted to do more drugs. But here's the thing. All the drug dealers cut me off. They were like, no, Arturo, you need some help. You're getting too fucked up and you just need to calm down, get some sleep, and yada yada. So this one drug dealer that I got to meet up with me, I get to his car and he's like, hey, I'm not gonna sell you drugs. I just wanted to tell you that in person because you've been buying for me for so long. I was like, holy fucking shit, right? This guy won't sell me drugs. So then I get out of the car and I'm walking back home. But I'm backwards. I'm not where I usually walk from, so I get confused. So I'm walking down the street, and instead of turning right, I turn left. And I'm by this house, which I think is mine. And I open the door, and I go inside, and I think it's my house, right? Because it looks like a crack house. And I guess I was on a lot of drugs that maybe it just felt like it was my house. I was like, this has to be my house. No way, this is not my house, right? There's no way. And I went down the stairs, and I just remember thinking this is my place because it had the same stairs going down. It just looked the same to me. It looked the same. So fuck you, judge. No. So I go down the stairs and I pass what I think is my place. I go into my bedroom. I sit down on the bed. I'm about to untie my shoes, but then I notice that the whole room is pink. Yeah. But then I think, I'm like, holy fuck, it must be the MDMA. That's what I thought it was. I was like, MDMA is such a dumb drug. Okay, whatever. So then I start to take off my shoes more, and then I see that there's teddy bears all around the room, but not normal teddy bears. No. Like, teddy bears that say, "Get better soon, we love you." Yeah. So, then, I see that, I'm like, holy fuck. But in my, drug-riddled brain, I'm like, it's probably from those drug dealers. Like, those drug dealers need to be, lay off. They need to leave me the fuck alone. So then I continue to take off my shoe. But then I see, beside me that there's a wheelchair. That there's a wheelchair beside me. And I'm like, holy fuck, I do not have a wheelchair. So then I start to put on my shoes. I black out. I wake up in handcuffs. I got arrested for drug possession, drug misconduct, and break and enter. And I didn't just walk into a little kid's room. I walked into a little girl's room who was paraplegic. The thing is, I know what I did was fucked up. And I know it was that day was holy fuck, I need to get out of here. So then I got sober. But that day, the one thing that I took from it, besides getting sober, was who gave that little girl a Get Better Soon teddy bear? Who saw that paraplegic girl who was permanently in that wheelchair and was like, I'm going to give her this Get Better Soon teddy bear? They saw her and was like, I don't believe you. Nope. You're going to be fine. That's fucked up. And that's what I told the judge. Don't do drugs.